Hey, Perry Jeffries here, the Entrepreneur CFO. Hey, thank you for tuning in to this segment. In this segment, we're going to discuss annuities. Now, when you hear the word annuities mean different things to different people. But ultimately, an annuity is a relationship or a contract between you and an insurance company. And the contract between you and that insurance company is to guarantee something. So the same way that you have insurance on your home, the same way that you have insurance on your car, you have that insurance in place in case something happens, a disaster. If your home burned down, you're able to replace it. If you have a car accident, you're able to get repairs or potentially get a new car. So with an annuity, it's a relationship between you and the insurance company to guarantee something. So annuities do different things. So there's a ton of different kind of annuities. I'm just going to give you the basic fundamentals today. So with the annuity, it may protect your principal. It may guarantee your principal. It may guarantee your future income. It may guarantee a death benefit. But ultimately, I'm going to give you something here that you can think about. So the word splint. S-P-L-I-N-T. So when you think about the annuities, it's going to be a splint. So that first S, safety. So typically if you're investing inside an annuity, whether you're putting some retirement money inside there or some cash that you have sitting on the sidelines, people are typically invest in annuities for safety. Why? Because the majority of annuities are going to guarantee some form of principal, especially with your fixed and your fixed index annuities. Okay? So people typically go there for safety. The P, annuities can sometimes be used as a means to avoid probate. So we always hear the horror stories of when a loved one dies and the money goes into probate. Well, when you have money inside the annuity, you have a beneficiary. And then when you die, those funds pay out to your beneficiary and avoids probate. So it can be a great estate planning tool as well. The L stands for liquidity. Okay, so when most people hear the word annuity, they start to get the shakes because they're thinking, oh my God, my money's going to be tied up for 5 years, 7 years, 10 years. Well, when you do sign an annuity contract, you do sign for a term. So it could be a 5-year, 7-year, or 10-year term. But just because you signed up for that 5, 7, and 10-year term with the insurance company doesn't mean you still don't have access to your money. So with all annuities across the board, so whether they're variable, fixed index annuities, typically you can always take out 10% a year without penalty. So if you have $100,000 in that annuity, typically after your first anniversary, you can take out 10% with no penalties, no harm, no foul. So you can take out $10,000 that next year. And next year, guess what? You can take out another $10,000. So ultimately, you can have a 10-year annuity and take out $10,000 or 10% of your money a year, okay? So you do have access to liquidity. Now, what happens in the event that you need to take out more money than the 10%? Well, typically your 10% is going to come out penalty free. And then if you need to access some more money, the annuity company may have what you call surrender charges, which could vary. It could be as high as 10%, as low as 1%, just depending on the year. And that's what you would pay on additional funds that you would take out. But that's why it's really important to know you never put all of your liquid investments inside the annuity. Typical industry rule of thumb is no more than about 40% of what you have liquid can go into annuity, because again, these are dollars you don't plan on touching for a while, okay? The next I is for interest. So are you gonna make money with the annuity? Well, we mentioned before, there's several different kinds of annuities. You have variable annuities, which are actually linked to the stock market. You have fixed annuities, which are similar to bond instruments or CDs, if you will, where you leave the money in and you get a fixed interest rate. And then you have fixed indexed annuities, which are linked to an index. So let's say the S&P 500 or the NASDAQ, but not necessarily taking on the same risk. So yes, you're going to have opportunity to make interest on the money. So the product that we're featuring this month is our Allianz 222 product. With that particular product, you're going to earn interest and also to gain some bonus. So one of the bonuses that you're going to get is whatever money you put in, you're going to get a 30% bonus on that money. So if you put in $100,000, day one, your account goes to $130,000. And you may say, Perry, that's great. Well, this is what we need to explain to you, is that you're actually going to have two different buckets. You call this bucket one, bucket two. Bucket one is your contract value. Bucket two, we're going to call that your pension value. Now, we're not going to get too deep into the weeds on this because we can always send y'all some more information. But let's say for the person who wants to invest $100,000 in this bucket, the account is worth $100,000. In this bucket, the account is worth $130,000. What Allianz is guaranteeing is that they're going to guarantee your principal, but the trade-off of that is that you may not make as much money as you would in the market, but you have your downside protection. The benefit to this is that someplace down the road, say 10 years down the line, when you actually want to access this money, you got a 30% bonus, but still had the opportunity to grow. Okay, so that's as far as I'm going to get into that, because there's some more details that we can obviously discuss. But that's the benefit to that's the I and the interest. Okay. So for the end, we're going to put no taxes. Okay. Now, it's not that you're never going to pay taxes, but while inside, the annuity is going to grow tax deferred. So if you have old retirement money, like an old 401k or an IRA, and you want to protect that against the market and protect those gains because we're at the top of the market, then put it into the annuity, maintains the tax deferred. So you can actually take your IRA dollars, keep it as an IRA, put it inside your annuity, not have to pay taxes and penalties, and also to still be able to grow a tax deferred and not be penalized for that. So that's another benefit to that. And then last but not least, timing. From a timing standpoint, whether an annuity is a good fit for you depends on the time frame in which you need the money. So if you're already a client of ours, or if you've been following us, you know that we have adopted the bucket plan financial planning model. The way that works is you have a now bucket, a soon bucket, and a later on bucket. Your now bucket is money that you need in the next 0 to 12 months. That bucket we typically keep very liquid, as in cash or money markets or assets we can get to right now. Your soon bucket is money that we don't plan on touching for maybe 2 to 10 years, okay? That may be a good place for the annuity to go in that soon bucket. And then you have your later on bucket. Your later on bucket is money you don't plan on touching 10 years plus. Well, depending on your risk tolerance as an investor, whether you're a conservative, moderate, or aggressive, the annuity may be a good fit for that soon money or that later on money, okay? So, depending on where you are, again, annuities are not good for everybody, but for a certain client who has a need, a long-term need, and have monies they want to put on the sideline and reduce the amount of risk but still have the opportunity to grow and potentially give themselves a guaranteed future income, it may be a good fit. So split, safety, avoids probate, has liquidity, can always take out 10% a year, is going to earn some amount of interest, potentially a bonus. There's no taxes because it's growing tax deferred, and more importantly, the timing. And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. That's Perry Jeffries here, the Entrepreneur CFO, with our quick tutorial on the annuity. Take care and be sure to follow some of the rest of our videos. God bless.